The economic downturn has negatively impacted almost everyone, but don't worry, there's hope. We've actually got expert advice about the steps you can take to get out of debt and become wealthy, even in a really, really crappy economy. It's everything you needed to know about getting rich in the Loop. Joining me from Washington, D.C. to help us make sense of it all, blogger and author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi is here. How are you, Ramit?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me.
When people ask how you are, do you respond with rich, typically? Is it you just let them know right away?
That's the one word I do, and it just shuts them up right there.
Good. Well, you could buy and sell half of our audience, and we know that. And I appreciate coming on because I'm a big fan of your blog. My friends are as well. And what I love is that you have a popular financial advice blog, and then you did the Control P, you printed it out at the Kinko's, and now you have a best-selling book. I mean, what did it take to turn it from blog to bestseller? I'm assuming it was a little more than that.
It took me 2 years of wanting to kill myself every day I was writing it. It's actually mostly new stuff. I think, part of the way that the book became a bestseller was, writing stuff that people cared about. I hate when people say, don't buy lattes, because that advice doesn't work. No one cares about that. We care about negotiation, automation, entrepreneurship. And then the other thing is, I Will Teach You to Be Rich sounds like a big fat scam. I know that. Everybody knows that. So you have to show, you don't slap ads on there the first day. You show people that you're really building trust, and that really helps. Right.
I Will Teach You to Be Rich does sound like a pop-up ad that blinks with a monkey that if you shock it, all of a sudden you're a billionaire and you're fine. But
so true.
But you're right. You don't slap ads on it from day one. You give out sound advice, and I love that with your advice, we can enjoy a latte or two, because that's not what is the major hurdle between living the way you are now, perhaps paycheck to paycheck for some of our viewers out there, and being rich. So you mentioned a couple key words, and I want to get to those if we can. What steps do you recommend for people that are perhaps looking to get out of debt or looking to stockpile a little bit of cash? What can they do right now?
First thing is to make your lenders work for you. Call up your credit cards, call up your student loan companies and say, hey, how much do I owe? What's the interest rate? And if I keep on paying what I've been paying, how long will it take me to pay that off? The biggest problem with people in debt is that they don't know. They just keep paying what the lenders send them, and it'll take you 2, 3, 4 times the amount that you actually owe to pay it off with interest. So make a plan, and then you can use some of the tactics in my book, blog, whatever, to get a plan to be strategic about paying that down.
Now, you mentioned automation. What exactly is automation? How can that help people?
Well, I love automation. Look, everybody, you guys know, you read Lifehacker, 4-Hour Workweek. Automation is about taking that next $100 you earn, whatever it's from, your paycheck, wherever, and putting it automatically into different accounts. So when I earn the next $100 or $1,000, 5% might go to my 401k, 5% to my savings account, and within that savings account, I have sub-savings account, trip to China, stupid mistakes I make, whatever it may be. By the time the money gets to me, it's all been handled automatically while I'm sleeping, and I know I can spend that money guilt-free.
Right, but you barely have enough left over for a latte at that point, because if we siphon out and we do, like, let's say you put some money in the stock market, right? Are you still playing stocks right now? Do you have a portion of your paycheck going there?
Well, I invest, but I don't play stocks. Look, investing is not about picking stocks. All right, we got to be clear about that, because people think investing is about picking stocks, and they always lose.
Oh, see, I thought I had to sit there all day at my E-Trader and click and try to make a couple bucks like it's a ferocious match of like StarCraft. But
if you do that, you're doing it wrong. It's not a game. It should be the most boring thing you ever do. And let me talk about investing for a second. A lot of people are saying, should I actually invest right now? Of course you should invest. If you don't invest, when you get older, you're going to be eating hot tamales, you're going to be eating corn nuts, and that's all about you're going to have. So
wait,
it's really important
to our audience, that sounds like heaven, by the way. You have to update.
You're right. I love corn nuts
a little bit. We're like, sweet.
You're right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. So we have to invest now. Where should we be investing? What say you?
The simplest place to invest is a low-cost and sensible investment. It's called a life cycle fund. It's also called a target date retirement fund. All you do is pick how old you are, and then it creates a fund for you. And as you get older, it actually becomes more and more conservative, which is called rebalancing. It does it for you automatically. All you have to focus on is funneling as much cash as possible into that investment. That's the way you want to invest.
All right, that sounds good. So maybe stave off of buying a couple rock band tracks for a week or two, put that into one of those, and we'll be good. We can eat all the hot tamales we want when it's time to retire. That sounds good to me. Now, real quick, Ramit, because again, I appreciate you coming on. I love the time, and I'm curious. Let's say a viewer out there is looking to get a car or get a raise. Negotiating is something you talk about a lot on your blog and in the book. What are some tips for successful negotiating?
Well, first of all, I teach people how to negotiate like an Indian, all right? That's what I learned when I was a kid, and now I'm trying to teach it to others. So you can use some of the tips I have for negotiating late fees, overdraft fees, even getting your APR or cable bill reduced. For buying a car, let me just tell you how I did it. I faxed one dealer near me and said, look, I know this car costs this much. I'm looking for the best deal, and I'm ready to buy in the next week. He gave me the best price. Then I faxed the next dealer and the next dealer. By the next week, I had 17 dealers bidding against each other. I'm sitting back eating corn nuts, and I get the car for $2,000 under invoice. So that's how you do cars. And for tips on, negotiating a raise, for example, in Chapter
Wait, what
9,
about the
I have a
cable bill?
really
How do I
detailed
get
script
my
that you
cable
can
bill down or my cable internet down? We're totally out of time, but screw it. How do we get that down?
I love it. This is the key. The key phrase is, times are tough. You call up your cable bill. You say, look, Comcast, $80 a month.
Well, not Com. Don't do that to Comcast. Maybe if you're on competitors network.
Do it to whoever
cool.
else. Yeah, don't do it to Comcast. Do it to another network and say, look, times are tough. I can't afford $80 a month. What can you do? I don't want to have to move to another cable company. And they will say very often, oh, we can cut you down to an introductory rate. $30 a month off, that's $400 a year you just saved right there with one phone call.
I love it. Put it in the Hot Tamale Fund. Ramit, thank you so much for coming on. Again, the book is fantastic. I highly recommend everybody out there check out your blog. And I thank you again for keeping us in the loop.
Thanks for having me.